The Sharks were unable to get that fourth straight win as they miss opportunities against the Canucks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Western Conference Tuesdays on the Locked On NHL channel. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we're going to be dissecting the Sharks 3-2 heartbreaking loss. Tough weekend for me. 3-2 loss to the Canucks as they get right back at it, and then they just can't find a way to win. So we'll look at kind of what went wrong there, how the Sharks weren't able to take advantage of some opportunities. We'll also dig into the numbers of this game, look at where the Sharks kind of struggled there, and look at new defensive changes and how they worked and what Ryan Warsofsky is going to have to continue to tinker with the lines. So before we do all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. Still searching for a great candidate for your company? Don't search, just match with Indeed. All right. This Sharks game, heartbreaking, because it felt very much like, from what we've seen over the past week from the Sharks, this kind of comeback, never say die mentality. And it felt like the Sharks were going to do it again, right? They come back, they're down 2-1. They score a goal to tie things up. And it felt like this game is going to overtime. Let's see what we can do in there. And of course, they give up a goal less than a minute later, 51 seconds later, to be exact. Just heartbreaking because, yes, Vancouver, much better team, and they, for the most part, outplayed the Sharks in this game, especially when you look at the first period. But other than the first period, the Sharks kind of went toe-to-toe with the Canucks, and some missed opportunities, including just brutal power play, to be honest. And Eklund on our breakaway wasn't able to score. Just a lot of those those are hallmarks of bad teams, because good teams usually get those bounces for them because they put themselves in those situations. But anyway, this game, though, was it right there for the taking. Sharks could have had their fourth straight with Columbus coming to town on Tuesday. I know Columbus has played better, but a winnable game in there, and looking for potential 5 straight. But just snatching defeat from the jaws of victory for the Sharks. I think that's the best way to put it from here, because there was a lot of things that the Sharks just could have done a little bit better in this game if they gotten a clear here, or if they done better on a dump in, or kind of a change here, or a dump in there, or just little things like that. And for a team that we've talked about plenty of times, it just does not have the biggest margin of error, those little things we see, right? They kind of snowball, and then that's when kind of things go bad, go poorly for you. And I think that especially on the goal, there was the couple opportunities right there, and especially the Eklund gets a breakaway chance, and Eklund's gonna have a scoring pop here soon. It's coming. Jay Fresh tweeted out his goal scored below expected. He's one of the league leaders. That is going to self-correct here soon. He's gonna have a scoring pop here really soon, kids. It's coming. But Eklund breakaway, and then next thing you know, right, Canucks get a beautiful opportunity, and Pius Suter is able to cash it in. Just things like that, where it's just if Eklund scores on that breakaway, Sharks are up 2-0, and with a chance to kind of maybe put this thing away, especially the way that they were playing for the second and the third period. Will Smith, who I thought had a pretty good game. Like, you could see Will Smith's confidence, and we'll dig into the numbers of kind of how his line played and everything, but he just looked more confident. And but when you're playing as a rookie, you're gonna make rookie mistakes. And the big rookie mistake for him was the Sharks they were getting pushed. The Canucks were definitely kind of controlling the pace. He doesn't skate the puck to the red line to dump it, like a deep dump in, right? And he just kind of just gives it over in the neutral zone, which leads to a really bad change, which leads to the Sharks just being under kind of scramble mode, and the Canucks were able to score there. Right? Margin of error for the Sharks, not that it's a very small margin of error. And when you make those types of errors, again, like Smith had to skate like another 10 feet, and he's crafty enough to be able to do that. Skate another 10 feet and just dump it in. Deep dump it. Give your team a chance to make an actual change instead of letting the Canucks be able to continue to push and attack. And the Sharks just caught out of position there. So, and then just the constant. And we're gonna dig into more of this tomorrow. I've been charting, but I want to spend a whole episode on it. But you score a goal, and then it's the next shift or the next two shifts, you give it right back up, and that is something the Sharks are really, really going to have to try to focus on fixing. Is you scored that goal, what does your next shift look like? And like I said, we're going to spend more time because I've been charting it. I'm getting everything ready for it. But I think there need to be a change in approach and how the Sharks kind of take that next shift. But just this whole game is it feels very much like the Sharks had an opportunity to take this game, and especially against a Vancouver team. I know that they've had a tough start to the season, not what they expected. I know they're dealing with some injuries and guys not performing up to expected, all that fun stuff. But like the Sharks played other than the first period, the Sharks played pretty well in this game. And they, like I said, they went toe for toe with the Canucks. You got your normal guys are stepping up. Granlund's easily the most valuable player for the Sharks right now. And there's a very good conversation to have about extending Granlund instead of trading Granlund at the trade deadline that we will explore here at some point. But this definitely feels like one where the Sharks I'm sure when they watch the tape, they're like, so many opportunities in this game to win this game and just unable to take advantage of those opportunities. And the power play tonight or on Saturday night was brutal. And I know you have new guys, right? Timothy Liljegren, I guess we're now emphasizing that middle syllable, but Timothy Liljegren is new, right? A lot of new pieces kind of at the quarterback spot there, and guys kind of getting used to that. And the Canucks penalty kill, they did a really good job of pressuring the Sharks. They just didn't have a response for that pressure. And I think we've seen the power play when it's able to kind of get set up, and it's very, very good, right? And very crisp passing, and especially with Granlund kind of running things there. But when it gets pressured, they don't really have that counter. And that okay, what do we do when there's a lot of pressure at the point? And how do we kind of maybe turn it into running it from behind the net or behind the cycle, or running from the cycle down low or somewhere else? And I think that's going to be as the Sharks staff continues to get comfortable, and as the guys continue to get comfortable, that's going to be kind of the next part of the power play, is to kind of get that change up, that off pitch or whatever you want to call it, or that counter. But penalty kill just couldn't, or the power play couldn't get set up. And that, I think if you had gotten one there, you gotten either like the Eklund breakaway, or Will Smith makes a better dump in, or just a couple different things here. We're talking about 4 straight. So, but good signs overall. I think this team, just in the short amount of time over the past week, you can see what confidence winning can do for your confidence. And I think this team is playing a lot better. And even last week, we talked about this team isn't as bad as the numbers say. You're starting to kind of see that correction now. And I think you're going to start to hopefully see a more, that's the thing now, is can you continue this and be a little bit more competitive team? So we'll dig into the numbers some more here, look at the individual lines, and then look at the defensive pairings and what's going on there. So we'll get to that here in just 1 second. If you want to play daily fantasy, you need to check out PrizePicks. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players on a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. The great thing about it is if you live in California, like I do, you can play in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. If you sign up today, you'll get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive your $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. So if you think Justin Jefferson goes off in his next game, looks like Christian McCaffrey isn't too far away from playing again. If you think he has a big day, all you do is just pick more or less of your favorite players and cook up some of your hot takes that way. So download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNHL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app, use code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL to get $50 off after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. And if you need to hire, you need to check out Indeed. We're driven by the search for better. When it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data. And a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. So, join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of the show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now. Support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. You need Indeed. All right, let's dig into the numbers of this game. So again, the Sharks losing 3-2 to the Vancouver Canucks. We had 52 minutes of 5v5. A lot of we were basically with the first 2 periods without a penalty. It was great hockey, great back and forth hockey. Both teams really kind of taking their turns, especially in the second period. But 52 minutes, the Canucks shot attempts, Corsi 4, 61-43 in favor of the Canucks. And that was really kind of the first period where the Canucks took 25-9 shot attempts at 5v5. And then it was much more even, 20-19 in favor of the Canucks, and then 16-15 in favor of the Canucks in periods 2 and 3 when it came to shot attempts. So Canucks did a good job, especially kind of middle to end of the first. They kind of put the pedal to the metal there. But credit to the Sharks for kind of keeping things even the rest of the way. Actual shots at 5v5 was 25-22 in favor of the Canucks. Scoring chances 21-17 again in favor of the Canucks. High danger chances 9-8 in favor of the Canucks, and then 2.36 to 1.67 in favor of the Canucks. And the Canucks, though, they did a good job of kind of building, right? First period, they had 0.65 expected goals for, then 0.78, then 0.93. So they were getting quality chances. For the Sharks, it was very much the first period. They didn't do much, as they had 0.15 expected goals for, and then 0.72, 0.8. So they, again, pretty close with the Canucks, except for that first period. So we've seen the Sharks play much better in the first period, but this game definitely was not part of the recipe, their kind of recipe for success when at least it comes to scoring it or kind of winning their games. I know the Utah game, they came back from down 4-1, but they played really well in the first, and they just kind of got unlucky and were able to kind of right the ship there. So as for the forward lines, so the most played line, of course, was the Eklund, Granlund to Foley line. They played 12:40, 7 shot attempts to 9. Actual shots was 4-4, did give up a goal. 0.15 to 0.29 expected goals for 2 to 3 scoring chances, 1 high danger chance. So again, this line continues to dominate time and didn't have the kind of the best night that you would expect or that you would hope for. Again, kind of like we talked about in the first segment, missed some opportunities there. But they are kind of dragging this team along right now, at least until Celebrini gets back. Zetterlund, Wenberg, Cardwell played 12:01, 14 to 19 shot attempts, 8 to 9 actual shots. Expected goals for was 0.42 to 0.71, with 7 to 6 scoring chances and 4 to 4 high danger chances. This line was actually getting its teeth kicked in for the better part of 2 periods before it kind of turned things around there. So good to see from that line. Zetterlund continues to really kind of find his groove now that I think Wenberg's kind of come along, and I think Cardwell's looked really good in his limited chances, or kind of with that line. I know it's his second game. Big from Cardwell that he was out there at like key moments at the end of the game when they're trying to like kill a penalty, when they're like, he's out there in big moments, that he's kind of earned that reputation of that you can trust and rely on him. And he was close to getting a couple, or at least getting a point in this game. So don't be surprised if over the next week we're talking about Cardwell's first goals, because the kid just 1000% motor all the time. But he's also skilled. Like, he's a skilled player who has that motor. That's exactly what you want. I think that's exactly what Mike Greer and Ryan Warsofsky want in a player. Cardwell's good, man. Cardwell's good. Next, we have the Cunningham Smith Gaudreau line, 9:36 time on ice, 6 to 10 shot attempts, 2 to 3 actual shots, 0.27 to 0.2 expected goals, 2 to 1 scoring chances, 2-0 high danger chances. So again, Smith line quality over quantity. Will Smith was about half an inch from picking another corner in this game. Like I talked about earlier, you're seeing just a much more confident Smith than when he's playing. You saw him make some good plays in the defensive zone. Saw some nice crafty moves from him. But again, the rookie mistakes, right? You're going ride the line. You're going to have the highs. You're going to have the low. Like, try to ride the line the best you can with Smith. And I thought, though, good to see he didn't get on the scoreboard, but I thought he played a really solid game, with the exception of that one dumping right there that kind of went the other way. And you could tell, like, they showed his on the bench, like his face down, like he knew that goal was on him. So, but good to see him kind of continue his progress. So, Sharks wouldn't be surprised he plays the next couple games. They got it back-to-back, I think, next weekend, Sunday, Monday, if I recall correctly. So we'll see what happens there. But Gushin, Sturm, Grunstrom, 5:43, 5 to 5 shot attempts, 2 to 2 actual shots for this line. 0.07 to 0.11 expected goals, 1 to 1 scoring chances, 0 to 0 high danger chances. So good for Nico Sturm for getting a goal. But that line just, they don't really get a lot of opportunity. Don't really get to do too much with it. I'm curious to see what the Gushin plan is right now. Again, I'd still love to see Gushin on the third line. Give Will Smith somebody with a little bit more scoring pop. I think Gushin is overdue for one. He's had so many opportunities. I think he's definitely overdue for a goal here at some point. Whenever he's on the ice, too many positive things happen for him to be playing so low in the lineup. But yeah, we'll see. So let's talk about, and then Mackenzie Blackwood in this game. So Blackwood in all situations, 25 to 28 saves, and 3 goals allowed on 2.88 expected goals against, so kind of right where you expected. 4 for 4 high danger, 6 of 9 mid danger, and then 13 of 13 low danger. So Blackwood makes some big saves when they needed them, and like none of the goals I'm really faulting him on. Like those were some good screens, or those were just pretty goals. Sometimes that just happens. So, but I thought it looks like Blackwood's kind of taking the reins on the starting net. So we'll see, especially with a couple days off here, if he gets the net again on Tuesday against the Blue Jackets, or if they give Vanacek an opportunity here. So yeah, we'll dig into the defense, look at what happens with the new pairings and how those guys looked. And as we saw, shake up in the second period already. So we'll check out what potentially Ryan Warsofsky saw here in just 1 minute. Listen up, renters. Ever feel like you're stuck in this loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish into thin air? It's time to turn the rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's where Built Rewards comes in. Built is breaking ground as a neighborhood rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Every month, pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. Use points to jet off to dream vacation. Put your points towards a flight or hotel stay with 500 airlines and 700,000 hotels and properties. You can use your points to book fitness studio classes, redeem them toward a future rent payment. They're designed to meet your lifestyle, so pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built Rewards points have been consistently ranked as the highest value point currency by the point guides and Bankrate. So earn points by paying rent right now. Just go to joinbuilt.com/lockedonnhl. That's joinbuilt.com/lockedonnhl. Make sure to use our URL so you know that we sent them. Joinbuilt.com/lockedonnhl to start earning points with your rent payments today. And get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook gives you everything you need to place your bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get the hunch in the middle of a game, you can check the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You can get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, let's look at the defensive pairings. So we had we had a little bit of a interesting night. So the guys who played the most at 5v5 in this game were Ferraro and Ceci, who were not paired together when they started. Ferraro Ruda started. Ceci and Wallman were the first pairing. We had Thrun Liljegren as a second pairing, or as a third pairing, excuse me. And then the Ferraro Ruda combo. Ferraro Ceci played the most at 5v5, and that pairing did not have a great night. They had a 13.6% Corsi. So that is when they were on the ice, the Sharks took 13% of the shots. When they were on the ice, they had 3 shot attempts for and gave up 19. Again, this Sharks numbers, especially the second and third period, not too bad. These guys mostly played together like in the second and third period. The expected expected goals 7.1% when these guys were on the ice. So 0.09 to 1.13. Woof. Thrun Liljegren played 10:27 They were on the ice for a goal. Whatever. Plus goal, whatever. Anyway, 10-6 shot attempt, or sorry, 6-10 shot attempts. I'm trying to look at 20 things or the columns are a little confusing. Expected goals for was 69%. Nice. Corsi for was only 37.5%. So they were creating, when they were on the ice, the Sharks were creating a lot of quality, maybe not as much quantity when they were on the ice together. Walman Ruda played 927. 17-12 shot attempts, which you would expect with Walman on the ice. Walman did leave the game a little bit in the first period, but came back. He was also available for media availability, so I would assume that he should be pretty good to go with that shoulder injury, though. Expected goals for when Walman was on the ice: 70.9%, 58.6 Corsi for. So Walman Ruda, really nice, like pretty solid night, and especially Walman, who's like arguably the Sharks' most important defenseman right now. So you notice the two pairings were you had puck moving defenseman and Walman and Liljegren. Maybe not the best Corsi, but the Sharks were creating offense with those guys. You had Walman Ceci, who's kind of the normal pair. 641 time on ice, 5-8 shot attempts, so a little bit negative than the Corsi. Expected goals for was 36.7% and then the Corsi was 38.5% for that pairing. So, and then all the other pairings were kind of less than 2 minutes, or, kind of guys getting swapped here and there. So all via money puck. What does this tell you? It tells me that you need to have a puck moving defenseman on the ice at all times, because when you do, and this is also going to relate heavily to tomorrow's episode, when you have a puck moving defenseman, you tend to spend less time hemmed in your own, and you're going to get hemmed in your own zone at times, especially the Sharks team, right? But with a puck moving defenseman, they're less likely to just kind of chuck the puck down the ice for an icing, and then you're stuck down there again. You're going to, or just kind of bang it up off the glass and out. Like, you need to have someone out there who can just get the puck going. And Jake Walman can do that. Liljegren, who I know it's been one game, but that's kind of his calling card, and that's a big reason why the Sharks traded for him. You need to get Jack Thompson or Shakir Mukhamadullin in the lineup here, and give yourself 3 real pairs, because trying to have a quote unquote shutdown defensive pairing, it's not working very well for you. And whether that's Ferraro Ruda, Ferraro Ceci, whoever, they're just spending too much time in their own defensive zone having to defend. And the best way for the Sharks to play defense right now is to not have to play defense. That's my whole defense is for nerds, just score points. If you just keep the puck out of your own zone, you don't have to sit there and play defense as much. Yes, you still have to play defense, and yes, playing defense is an important part of hockey, et cetera, et cetera. But having a guy who can just get the puck moving and get it to the forwards or carry it out himself or whatever he needs to do, just someone who feels comfortable with the puck on their stick, the Sharks need to have one of those guys out there all the time. And yes, I know Jack Thompson, he's played 2 games, or he's played a handful of games this year, and he got benched for this game. The Sharks really need to either, like I said, pull Mukhamadullin up, who's played a couple games. I didn't get a chance to watch much from our poor wagon, which fell apart in Iowa this weekend, but that's okay. If they want to pull Mukhamadullin up, or if you want to play, you got to play Thompson. And just, again, I'd rather see one of these guys than a Jan Ruda, or, like we got rid of the Matt Benning. I'd rather see one of these guys make your rookie mistakes now, and kind of get that out of their system and be ready to contribute over the next couple seasons. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to dig more into this tomorrow because I've been charting and looking at like what happens after the Sharks score a goal, and kind of what typically happens. So that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, and we'll kind of continue this defensive conversation. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow because I think this is going to be a good one. So make sure you're following wherever you guys get podcasts, and of course you can watch on YouTube as well. When you're done with this, go check out one of the other great shows here at Locked On. You have Locked On Fantasy Hockey, so if you need some help with your fantasy team, needs some help, whether trade targets or waiver wire guys or who to just bail on, they got you covered there. Or check out one of the other shows here in the Bay Area. You got Locked On Niners. I know they're on bye. Locked On Warriors. What are they going to do without Steph? Locked On Giants, who are making a bunch of front office changes. Locked On A's, which, I mean, you're moving an entire franchise. Plenty of great stuff there. Any of those, wherever you get podcasts. And, of course, you can watch on YouTube. Follow this show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.